Alright, I'll do something a little different here today. I got my old Makita Sawzall here. I call it a Sawzall anyway, it's a reciprocating, so I think Sawzall was Milwaukee's name. But anyway, you know, it's like Kleenex. Anything you wipe your nose with, it's called a Kleenex. But anyway, I was using this to trim a tree. I've had this, I kind of thought I had it for like 40 years. But I'm not so sure. So I'd say at least 30 plus. And I use it for trimming trees. I put a big pruning blade on there, and I feel a little safer climbing a ladder with it and chopping down limbs than with a chainsaw. But anyway, it's got the old metal box. You don't see them too often anymore. And I was just admiring. It's actually in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got a nice patina to it. I mean, it's got a little bit of rust and scratches and everything, but there's not a dent in this thing anywhere, which surprises me because I use this thing a lot, man. Christ, hundreds and hundreds of demolition jobs and construction and stuff like that, and I'm surprised it hasn't let me down sooner. But anyway, here's something neat. You see this MEW? Anybody know what that means? You know the M stands for Makita, but who said that? Right. Stands for Electrical Works. Makita's been around for over 100 years. And they started out with electric motors. Didn't start making power tools for, Christ, till 60 years ago, you know, in 1957, 58 or something. But anyway, you know, it's a Japanese company. And they're worldwide. They got 10 manufacturing facilities in 10 different parts of the world, and the United States is one of them. But anyway, enough of the history. Like I say, yeah, this thing, a lot of people think Makitas are cheap, you know, cheap tools and stuff like that. But like I say, this one never let me down until recently. And I was, I'd say about 30 foot up a ladder in a tree, and it just stopped working. So I thought, you know, after all these years, it was the brushes. So right away I'm thinking, you know, get the brushes or maybe a switch, you know, like a switch here, something like that. But I'm gonna take it apart and I'll show you what's wrong with it and maybe save somebody a couple dollars. The reason I say, you know, I thought I had it for 40 years, but Milwaukee really didn't start manufacturing anything until 1985 in the United States. But I think they did have a sales facility, because over here, I don't know if you can see it, it says Makita USA, and it's in California. And when they started manufacturing, they were manufacturing in Georgia. So that's what makes me think, you know, I probably did have it. They just had sales buildings and stuff here. But this was probably made in Japan. Nothing wrong with Japanese stuff. Here's the label on it and everything. I can't even read what it says, but you can see it said made in Japan down there. So anyway, you can see this thing's been around the block a few times, scuffed up, and takes a beating. Here's a pruning blade. I put a pruning blade on there, and it's I could cut on anything up to 6 inches. You know, it may take a little longer, but I feel a little safer, especially when I'm working alone and I'm not that high up a ladder. So. All right, let me take this out and we'll take a better look at it. Here's something you don't see very often. This has an 8-foot cord on here and a plug. Nowadays, a lot of the tools, you know, your hedge trimmers and stuff like that, don't even have a wire on them. You know, you got to provide your own extension cord and everything. That's pretty cool. And I was just looking at this, see how I was going to take it apart. I was afraid that I was going to have to split this whole thing in half, but from the looks of it, on the back here, there's five screws, and then there's a cut right here, and it should run right along here, which is good because You know, whenever you take something apart and split it in half, there's usually a lot of springs and detent bearings and stuff that pop out and got to go back a certain way and everything. So this this might be an easy fix. Alright, let me plug it in and show you what's wrong with it. Hold on, I'm going to stick you guys in a tripod so I can use both hands. Alright. Okay. Looks like one time I might have had a little mishap. I don't know if you can see that, but I might have repaired this cord. Looks like a nice repair job too. But anyway, shit happens. I'm probably not the only one that has a Sawzall with tape and shrink wrap on it and stuff. Okay. Alright. I got this plugged in right now, and you see there's the trigger. I'm not getting anything. And like I say, at first I thought it was the brushes, because I mean, 30-40 years of beating the piss out of this thing, I kind of expect to have to replace something, but with a switch. But here's the problem. Let me zoom you in here a little bit. Problem is, let me see. I got you on. I got you plugged in now, and I got your trigger on. But here's your problem right here. Right here must be a broken wire. See that? Alright, let me disconnect you there. Alright, so something as simple as that. You can't see it. The wire looks okay. I mean, upon better inspection here, you can see that it's a little soft and everything. I can feel like it's a little bumpy there, but that's where our problem is, right there. So let me take these 5 screws out here, and we'll take it apart and look at it. Okay, I said 5 screws, but actually there's only 4 here. Okay, this is where I always get scared of stuff jumping out on me. And that's pretty good. Can't complain about that. Huh. There are brushes right here. I guess I should unplug it, huh? Oh, Road King, you crack me up. You guys think I'm kidding, but it's still live. It's still juiced up. See? Okay. Let me unplug that and give it a look over. Alright. Let's see if I can move you in here. I'm going to try and keep you in the frame. It's going to be tough, but we'll work with it. Alright, put my glasses on here. There we go. Alright, take this out. See, all we got to do is deal with these 2 wires here, the white and the black one. But I think I'm out of frame already. Come on, Road King, get your shit together. Alright, we don't need the little rubber boot. And has this little black thing here. Let's see what that does. It looks just like it's some kind of insulator or something. Okay, looks like these wires are just stuck in there, but they're stuck in there in a way that they're not meant to pull out. So looks like this comes apart. See this little black thing here? Little black titty here and one on the other side. Looks like I hate messing with this old plastic because it's so easy to snap. Alright, I'm just going to stick that in one side and stick this in the other. Now hopefully This comes out. Oh, alright, there we go. Alright, now even though I got this on video, I'm going to mark where these wires are so I don't forget. Looks like the black. Got a little piece of paper here and a marker. So this is just for me. I mean, some guys look at it and say, oh, that goes there, you know, but not me. So we're going to say the black goes on the button side. Okay. And then the white goes on the other. Okay. Alright. I don't know if you can see this, but you gotta keep taking my glasses off to look at the camera and then put them back on so I can see this. This has like a little spring clip here. And that spring clip is actually what holds that wire in. See? And then you can actually just pull it out the other side here. Oh shit. See what I mean by all kinds of little springs and everything? Alright, we got the wires out. Now I gotta figure out how to put that little clip back in. Alright. Let me shut these down. Alright. I got that little piece back in there. Now this whole thing, I don't know if you can see this, but this whole thing is ready to jump apart. The only thing that holds this together is this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it back in because we don't have to. It doesn't have to be out. That'll keep everything together. And then these wires here will be able to go in afterwards. But that's why I say, that's why I hate taking stuff apart like this, because everything is just spring loaded and you know everything's ready to fly apart. So luckily we're able to get that back together. Actually feels stiffer than it was. I don't know why. Wow. Let me check that out. Alright. Get a screwdriver here and get this out. I was just looking at this and I have a dilemma here. I had this repair that I made, and it's actually a very good one, but it's only 9 inches away from where I have to cut. So do I leave that because it has character and a story, or do I just lose 9 inches and start with fresh wire? Some people say that's goofy, just go back to here, and I think I might do that. Although it has a story, I forgot what it was. So what difference does it make, right? Okay. Alright, we got our wires out here. Let's pull it apart and look at it. Okay, I'm going to slice that down and see what this problem is, just for fun. Okay, I took a razor and slit this down right to where it was, I had a problem. And if you can see through all this this rope stuff here, looks like our problem was in the white wire. There we go. I'm having a tough time seeing it, so I don't know how you guys are going to be able to see it. Okay. Alright, there's our problem right there. I almost threw this thing out. You know, I figured it used up its life and everything. But that was it. Just a little break in the wire. Look at it. So let's fix that. Let me get all the stuff out of here. You know what I noticed also? Let me back these up while I got you here. All these wires in here are very hard and brittle, but there's nothing broken through. And you know, I told you I really use the piss out of this thing, and sometimes I would have this thing running so long and hard that this whole motor here would get so hot you'd have to put gloves on to hold it. So this one over here is soft. It's just these two right here are kind of hard and brittle, but like I said, there's no breaks in them. But we're gonna leave it. We're gonna put it back together. Let me clean this table off and get a soldering iron and do something with that. All right. Okay. I'm gonna measure here. See how much wire they had out, and they had from the end of this to the end of this was looks like 4 inches. So I'm gonna leave 4 inches of the wire exposed. All right, we made a decision here. We're gonna cut back behind the repair here and get rid of that. Get rid of the history, get rid of the story. If you can't remember the story, it's not much of a story, right? So there you go. Alright, let me cut this back 4 inches, and then we'll strip the wire up here. Alright, before I strip the wire, I'm going to put this little booty on, make it that much easier. Even the booty, I don't know if you can see, but this booty is hard as a rock. So I'm going to stick it in there, that way we don't forget it, right? Alright, 4 inches, right? Alright, cut my 4 inches there. Now let me trim the top here. I would say that almost looks like 14 gauge. Only need about 3/8 of an inch. Oops. It's a little hollow. Okay. That's all we need. Alright, let me get the soldering iron out, and we'll tin the ends of these. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm just going to tin this a little bit. Whoops. Okay, that's it. That's just to hold the wires together. Let me get this other one, you don't have to see that. Okay, we tinned the ends here. Actually looks pretty good. That just stiffens the wire, keeps it from fraying. Alright, now let's try and stick this back together here. Okay, slide it down a little bit. This actually has a little knob in here. You guys are wondering what keeps that from pulling on the wire. This actually got a little knob here, and when you tighten that down, it just keeps everything from moving. Okay, let me tighten this down. You don't have to watch me do that. Just take my word for it. Alright, I got this tightened down, this wire here tightened down. Now, in theory, the way these are tinned and stuff like that, they should stick right in there. And if I recall by my notes here, the black went towards the button side, which would be here. Now in theory, these things should just push in and stay. There you go, look at that. It ain't going nowhere. Now let me get the other white one here and stick it in the hole. For some reason it's not going. Oh boy. Alright, let me look at it. Let me see what's going on. Nothing's ever easy. Alright, let me zoom you in here. I see what happened, and it's totally my fault. Remember I told you I hate taking this shit apart because the springs always jump out and fly away and stuff? I'll try and turn this so you guys can see. But here's that little spring that jumped out on me earlier, right here. I don't know if you can see it, but when I put it back, it's actually, this spring is where the wire goes in. It's supposed to be over here, and when I put that little clip in there, I actually put it under that, and it's preventing it from moving down. So now I have to take that this little clip out and make sure that that wire is down there. Okay. So there you go. I warned you about that stuff, and it went and bit me in the ass. Alright, let me put it back together. Alright, I fixed it and put that spring back in there the way it belongs, and I'm trying to hold this thing together. But while I have it apart, I might as well show you how that spring clip works. If you can see it, I don't know. This is where the wire goes in, and then it just pushes. I'm trying to get my thumb out of the way. Pushes that spring out of the way, and then that spring just holds it in. Okay, let me put this thing back on while all this stuff is together. Alright, wait, let me shut yours off for a second. Alright, we got all the wires where they belong, and they're all pretty tight. Now, put this little insulator back on. I think that's all it is. I don't know. Put this back in place. But before we do that, let's put this little condom on, or a diaper, or whatever it is. Even this thing, I think it's supposed to be like, yeah, I was going to say it's getting a little stiff. The outside here is flexible, but the rim here is stiff, and I think there's a piece of metal in there. Okay. Let's put that on. Got to have a little button here, the adjust button sticking out. And we'll set that in there like that. Okay, push these wires down a little bit. Get the handle, put this on. Okay, there we go. I didn't have that sitting in there right. It's sitting in there right now. There we go. Now I just got to put these 4 screws in, and then we'll give it a test. Now let's screw them in. You don't have to watch that. Okay. And the last screw here. Alright, let's give it a smoke test. Where's my wire here? Let me back these up. Alright, let me get my my 7-foot cord. Get it? 7 foot. It used to be 8 foot. Alright, my extension cord here. Alright, here we go. Alright. Good for another 30, 40 years. Alright. I hope that helps some of you. And if it happens to you, maybe you won't throw it out. Alright. Thanks for watching.